Well, a very good evening to you. This is ANN7 Prime with myself, Lauren Jenae. Let's have a look at the headlines that we're currently following at this hour. Thousands turn up at the Free State ANC local government election manifesto rally. Zuma says people should vote for the ANC because it has delivered on its promises. President Jacob Zuma comes out all guns blazing against claims of state capture, accuses the opposition of misleading people on the issue without really understanding the term. And the Warriors humiliate the Bulls by handing them a 31-8 in the Super Rugby match at the Allianz Stadium in Sydney. The ANC in the Free State delivered their election plan ahead of the August local elections. President Jacob Zuma, along with the party's alliance partners, addressed the capacity crowd. Let's take a look. President Jacob Zuma was at his candid best when he addressed party's Gauteng PEC yesterday. Zuma urged his party men to remain united and work hard in winning the upcoming municipal elections. He said now is not the time to ponder Gauteng's position in 2017, but to focus on the upcoming municipal polls. Zuma added that now was the time for the ANC to have a more superior plan than the opposition. Remember, the Gauteng ANC leadership was the only province that told Zuma to do the right thing following the Constitutional Court judgment on Nkandla. Hello and welcome to Good Evening South Africa here on ANN7. This is DSTV channel 405. My name is Lauren Jenae. Let's have a look at the headlines that we're following at this hour. Let's now take a look at some other stories making news across South Africa. The burnt-out remains of the Wits students who died in a tragic road accident in Limpopo 2 weeks ago have been identified. Vice-Chancellor Adam Habib says it was a challenging process to identify the victims. A memorial service was held at the university on Friday. 7 students had died in the crash on the 2nd of May near Mokopane in Limpopo. The South African Local Government Association has slammed the power utility Eskom. It says Eskom has no authority to act as a collection agency for municipalities. Eskom made an announcement at a briefing in Cape Town that it would go ahead with plans to act as a collection agent to 42 errant municipalities. The Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa says scrapping initiation this winter season may not be possible because the June month is critical to the rite of passage. The National House of Traditional Leaders has called for provinces to postpone with the fear that cold weather conditions could affect the health of the initiates. More than 30 initiates died whilst undergoing the rite of passage last winter. Granddaughter of Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Zoleka, says her grandmother award is overdue. Madikizela Mandela was honored in Pretoria today by President Jacob Zuma as a courageous woman who became a symbol of the struggle against apartheid. She was awarded with the Order of Luthuli in silver. Madikizela Mandela, who has fallen ill, was represented by her granddaughter, Zoleka. Mac Maharaj, who recently retired as the official spokesman for President Jacob Zuma, received the same honor. Other well-known personalities honored at the ceremony include Afrikaans singer Lorika Roach, who received the Order of the Ikamanga in bronze, which recognizes South African citizens who have excelled in the fields of arts, culture, literature, music, journalism and sport. 17 of the 32 people honored today, as well as 8 of the 10 Order of Mendi for Bravery awards, were done so posthumously. The awards are done to honor men and women who've demonstrated exceptional service in humanity. The honor for Winnie Madikizela Mandela may have come too late, almost 13 years after the awards were first instituted, but there is no denying Winnie Mandela's contribution to the struggle against apartheid. My colleague Audrey Chimwanda takes us through a brief profile of the struggle stalwart. The Black First, Land First movement has launched their manifesto 9 months after its formation. The movement launched their manifesto in Soweto today under the theme Black Agenda for Black Liberation. Natasha Perry has more. The 16th Annual African Utility Week is set to kick off at the Cape Town International Convention Centre this coming Tuesday. The conference is the only global meeting place for power and water utility professionals to discuss challenges and to deliberate solutions facing the continent. ANN7's Kevin Brunt visited the V&A waterfront in Cape Town, which is a finalist in the African Utility Week's Energy Efficiency Project category. Petrol prices are set to continue to rise again next month. The rand of late has been trading in the green, given hitting a 4-month high. However, for the motorists, the rand's good showing is not going to translate into lower petrol prices. This is because the gains have been negated by stronger international oil prices. The Automobile Association has estimated that the petrol price could increase to the tune of 12 cents a litre in May. But the cost of diesel may drop by around 3 to 4 cents a litre. A drop in the diesel price is good news for the inflation outlook because a lot of goods are transported by diesel trucks. According to experts, had the rand not appreciated during April, South Africans would have been facing a 42-cent petrol price increase in May. And joining us for more on the phone line is AA spokesperson Lauren Jenae. Thank you so much for joining us here on ANN7. Thank you for your time. The rand has been doing so well as of late, yet petrol prices are due to increase still. Can you please explain the reason behind this?
Well, Lauren, I think you put your finger on it when you said that, the rand has gone through a bit of a purple phase in the last couple of weeks, where it did strengthen against the US dollar. Unfortunately, the international petroleum prices, the international oil prices have also, climbed in this period. So any gains that we would have had with the strengthening of the rand have really been negated by the international oil prices. And in fact, when we issued our press statement this afternoon, our headline, I really think, said it all. It said exchange rate outmuscled by oil strength. And that really has been the problem. The rand's performed well, but unfortunately, oil has not come to the party.
Now, why is it that the petrol price is expected to increase to 12 cents a litre in May and the diesel is expected to drop by 3 to 4 cents a litre? Can you explain, a little bit more behind this?
Yeah, look, there's different processes in terms of the refining of the different fuels. And the refining of the diesel fuels is a different process. And because of that and the volumes involved, the diesel price will come down. But I think, and as you said, it's obviously good news for some that the diesel price will come down, obviously for the big long haulers as well. I think the big number, unfortunately, for most of your viewers at this stage will be the petrol price that's going up by 12 cents. But as you rightly pointed out, had the oil price, gone up and the rand hadn't strengthened as it did in the last couple of weeks, we could be facing, a 30-cent more increase than we are predicting today.
And how will these increases and drops impact the inflation outlook?
Well, certainly they will impact on the inflation outlook because I think once, fuel does go up, everything is affected down the line. Food prices, everything gets affected by this. Everything becomes just that little bit more expensive. So I do think that, the economists will be looking at this and inflation certainly will be affected in some way, even if it's marginally by this increase.
Lauren Jenae, thank you so much for your time here on ANN7. That is the AA spokesman talking to us a little bit about the fact that the rand has been doing so well, yet petrol prices are due to increase and diesel prices are due to decrease. And now moving further afield, Nigerians have slammed the government's move to lift a controversial subsidy on fuel effective immediately and nearly doubling the price amid a massive shortage. The West African country's citizens say the increase will hurt the poor. And now for more news from across the African continent. Starting in Congo, police fired tear gas yesterday to break up a demonstration by thousands of supporters of powerful opposition figure Moise Katumbi, who had gathered outside a courthouse to protest allegations that he had hired foreign mercenaries. Moving to Ivory Coast, the country's cashew harvest is already running in record territory, but experts have slumped as high taxes and low prices have pushed farmers to sell their output in neighboring countries. And lastly, CFAO Yamaha Nigeria Limited opens a new showroom, technical training center and assembly line in Lagos after years of absence in the Nigerian market. The company is equally owned by French group CFAO and Japanese group Yamaha Motors. Moving now to some news from our sports desk. The Nedbank Cup final will take place at the Peter Mokaba Stadium this year, and Orlando Pirates have booked their spot in Polokwane. Pirates hammered Free State Stars 4-2 in the semi-final at Globe Park. The Sea Robbers will now await the outcome of SuperSport United versus Baroka FC. Accolades keep flooding in for Leicester City as their talisman Jamie Vardy has picked up yet another award for his outstanding season. The Foxes striker was named the Premier League Player of the Year. The award comes less than 24 hours after the England forward collected the Football Writers Association Player of the Year accolade for his 24 goals this term, with one match remaining for the season. Well, thank you for that, Neo and Corsi. Moving on now, dance is deeply embedded in Pakistani culture, but it is frowned upon in the Muslim majority country for women to be seen dancing outside of a family setting, and worse still, to perform for money. Well, that's all we have time for in this bulletin. Do stay tuned for more news and updates after the short break. And that brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for joining myself, Lauren Jenae, here on ANN7 Prime. This is DSTV channel 405. Do stay tuned for more news after this short break.